Hey, Practice Yoga family. Welcome back to your monthly newsletter for the month of November 2025. This month, our pose of the month is Ekapada Koundinyasana 2. It is an arm balance. It's also been called the flying splits. But to break that Sanskrit down is Eka, which means one. Pada, which means like feet or legs. Koundinya, which is an honoring of a sage who was one of the Buddha's first disciples. So a lot of these poses, Marichyasana, I'm blanking on a few others now, but a lot of these poses are actually named after some sages or Hindu deities. So Koundinya is actually the name of one of Buddha's first disciples. And then asana, which means pose. And then 2, this variation is a evolution of Ekapada Koundinyasana 1. So I'm going to briefly explain what that is so you understand, and then Koundinyasana 2 is our pose of the month that we are going to break down together. So Ekapada Koundinyasana 1 is an arm balance where you're coming into a chaturanga arm position. This leg is coming up onto the opposite elbow, so my right leg is coming to the left elbow, and I'm starting to take off, which I can't do. I can't do Ekapada Koundinyasana 1 from this position. You can get into Ekapada Koundinyasana 1 from a side crow position if you'd like, which would look like this. Side crow, I have my elbows bent, take the side crow position, and then extend the legs out. So that is Ekapada Koundinyasana 1. Ekapada Koundinyasana 2, which we'll be covering today, is when my right leg is coming onto my right elbow. So rather than crossing underneath, taking the opposite, Koundinyasana 2 is taking the same route. So prep poses for this shape here. Well, let me show you so you have a visual first of what this is, and then we'll break it down. All right, and then other side. Prep poses for this pose. Lizard. Think about the opening of the hips. Think about getting that like really open, not only hip flexors, but hamstrings too. So lots of forward folding. Three-legged dog. So the body is used to lifting one leg into the air. Chaturanga is a huge prep pose for this because we are needing chaturanga arms in order to get there. Some really good counter poses for this shape are, of course, child's pose, supine twist, a restorative bridge, anything that's like where you're not hand heavy and where you can really take a nice opening of a break. So we're gonna kind of like get into this pose step by step. So maybe you can try it out, or you can try teaching your students this really cool shape. So we're gonna build it together, give you options of where to stop along the way, because for some people this pose is just not accessible, but we still want to create opportunity for them along the way so they can start to make their way there. So we'll start with step 1, downward facing dog. Mostly an accessible pose here. Step 2, three-legged dog, lifting my right leg into the air. Step 3, bringing right knee to the outside of my right bicep. So I'm like really hugging in my elbow to my bicep. That is step 3. And that in and of itself is so challenging. It is so challenging. So if your students feel flustered, or if you feel flustered, that is the training ground right there. That three-legged dog to knee to elbow is like key. That's step 3. Step 4 is taking that knee to elbow or upper bicep and then dropping into chaturanga arms. So if you can see, now my elbow or my arm, my upper arm is creating a shelf. I'm just resting my head. Is creating a shelf for my leg. My back leg is still super engaged. I'm flexing through this right foot. So that is step 4, chaturanga arms. We take a break. The next step is where a lot of people get stuck. They start to get scared. It's just like when we put our students into crow pose for the first time. They're like, I'm gonna face plant, it's gonna hurt. And yeah, maybe they will face plant. Having a bolster or a blanket underneath their face might just add a little extra comfort or a sense of safety. But a lot of this like action into Ekapada Koundinyasana 2 is simply physics. Same within crow pose. As you start to lean forward, my back leg is just gonna start to lift up from the floor. So I'll show you. Let's see if I have enough breath in me to do it. So remember step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Now I start to lean forward, lift my back leg, extend my front. My gaze is at my front foot. Ekapada Koundinyasana 2. And all that took to get from elbow or knee to arm, chaturanga arms, to that fly is just that simple forward. Now, that doesn't mean we're staying heavy towards the ground trying to pull forward. I'm still pressing into my hands, scooping my low belly in and up and creating that rounding effect in my upper back. So, I'll do it on this side if that helps. Let's see. For a little extra visual here, and I can do it from the front too. And then I'll do it from this direction, so you have another nice little visual of it. I'm sweating. Still pressing into my hands, still squeezing my low belly in and up, and rounding through my upper back. It's always funny doing these when I'm like choose these poses. I'm like, why did I choose this freaking pose? I'm gonna be out of breath talking. But I really want you to see like how accessible these poses are if we prepare ourselves well, if we know what's engaging and what needs to happen in order for that natural lift to occur. And then sometimes it's like magic. You're like, holy crap, I can do it. So yeah, that is Ekapada Koundinyasana 2. Definitely make sure to take a rest, child's pose, twist, restorative bridge, anything to open up the front body. Maybe get a little bit more hip action in there, hamstring action for sure. And that is your pose of the month. Thanks for watching.